Hello everybody, welcome to my White Dwarf retrospective, White Dwarf 223 for UK issue May 1999. Here it is, guys. I've actually found some UK issues in my archive, so yay! Wow, took me some time to find them, but I did get some. Okay, I'm not going to jump in with my usual take a look at my Night Guardians or look at Let's Hunt Monsters. I have a Patreon if you guys want to help me basically publish my comic books. I'll post it in the links below. And if you're all interested in picking up any of my Night Guardians comic books, do a search for Nick Davis Night Guardians on Amazon at your local Amazon website, and you'll likely pick up my books there. So there we go. That's the big picture over and done with. And you can also basically help me out on Patreon. To join, it's less than $1. Lots of fun exclusive stuff up there, like comic books and comic strips, and an idea what I'm getting on with and doing. But that's not what we came here today to see. Today we came in to look at White Dwarf 223, May 1999. The princely sum of $3.50. And a Bugman's Dwarf on the front there. One of the Bugman Rangers by the looks of it. And this looks like a Wayne England, but we'll check it out in a second when we turn over the cover. In this issue we're going to have Deep Strike, Dark Angels arrives, the Elder attack in Battlefleet Gothic, exclusive new regiments of renown, the Giants of Albion, and the Witch Hunters. And 3, yes, you heard that right, 3 battle reports. So, with all being said, let's turn the page over and see what cuts loose. Again, it's going to make this nice and centered in the camera here. Yeah, I'm still working on my centering tools, but this is my drawing board, and I do a lot of drawing on this and not a lot of these retrospectives. And I'm still filming it on my phone off a strange podcast arm I had back in the day when I did podcasts. As you can see, if you're looking at this page here, things have changed a little bit in the contents. At this time, FHM, Maxim, Esquire, and lots of lads magazines were basically dominating the newsstand. So we were trying to basically change White Dwarf a touch to basically see if we can slot in and mirror some of that content's creation, and give the magazine a little bit more of appeal beyond actual just gamers. Because we want this basically to be a thing that you pick up and learn and game from. Pretty much when I bought White Dwarf was back in White Dwarf 98 Casket of Souls edition. I knew nothing about Games Workshop, but I picked it up because I read Lord of the Rings, and this had fancy creatures on the front of it. Anyway, here we go. Got the usual departments, the generalised departments with the news and stuff. Warhammer's got its own thing, 40k. Here with the base Dark Angels artwork. Yes, it's the Dark Angel Codex release. And we have Battlefleet Gothic with the Elder appearing, and new contacts with new battleships. So, let's turn the page and see what cuts loose, shall we? First off, the White Dwarf blogs. This is the UK edition. We get to see the UK editorial team. Paul's there, I am there, and still in slot number 2, which is Zotar, King of the Hawkmen. My God, look at that 1,000-yard stare. Oh my, that's kind of scary. Graham Davies still doing wordy. Simon Shuker is still doing layout duties. Ian Compton and Matthew Hudson. Matthew Hudson being the newest hire for the company. I think at this point we had moved over to a different part of the studio as well. Who we lost here? Well, Ian Strickland moved over to the Journal, and Andy Sharman had moved down to retail promotions. We also may see we've lost Adrian Wood as well. 232 was his last issue of White Dwarf. Not much I'm going to say about it. He and Paul had some animosity, to say the least, and they didn't get on. I don't know the final reasons why Adrian left to go back to doing box production, but there was something about they had a bit of a bust up, and Adrian decided to move to a different department, and the magazine kept going, which is a real big shame on my part, because I love working with Adrian Wood. In fact, working on White Dwarf with Adrian Wood was pretty much a dream. We were great buddies in the studio, and it's just one of those unfortunate things that do happen. I think it's just a conflict of personalities in the end. But enough of that. Let's take a look at what's going on in this issue here. There's Bologs. Yes, the Albion Giants are here. Big, gangly creations. I know these are very, very different to the Marauder Giant, which is a beautiful, beautiful toy soldier in its own right. But this is what giants should be. They should be gangly. They should be weird looking, because they're giants. They shouldn't just be like, you know, huge human beings. They should be like monstrosities, big long limbs and all kinds of stuff. You know, a bit like BFG, that sort of stuff. Dark Angels here, the new tactical combat squad. They do look really good in green, don't they? And then we've got the Raven Ring down here. coming out as well in the black bikes. I initially started collecting Space Marines back at the RB01s back in the 80s. The 32 box set of Space Marines, and my Space Marines were Dark Angels because they were black, and black was really easy to paint. New releases coming in. We have the Eldor Corsairs. These are a little bit different to the old Battlefleet Gothic ships, where basically they had sails on the front of them. They were like little, almost what's the word? Voltrons? No, not Voltrons. Volons from Babylon 5 style ships. So with sails on them. I actually really like those ships over these. These look too constructy and not ethereal enough to be Eldar, but that's just how I felt about them. Skink Shaman here. I mean, as you see, we're doing slightly different things. We're actually talking about tactics in the news here. As I was a Lizardman guy, I talk about how I use Shaman. And Ian Compton had a small Lizardman army. Used Shamans in a different way as well. And we've got all the new releases coming out here. And hang on a second. Warhammer Monthly's first birthday tour. Who knew? It's out for a year already. Wow. Coming soon. We started doing the coming soon feature. This is a new feature in White Dwarf with the new toy soldiers that are coming up. One of the reasons was there was some pushback in White Dwarf 232 where we basically showed far too many new releases. So what happened is we were asked to dial it back a little bit and just show some spoilers and stuff coming, like zombies. The orc battleships were still, I think, a little bit too, functionality and uniform for orc ships. And the weird looking vampire cannon. I'm usually saying it's a weird looking vampire cannon because he's got very bandy legs. And then we have the White Skulls Dreadnought there. That fat bloke is just basically, I should say, Paul Sawyer has just basically finished. I still reckon the Dreadnought should have been on like big speedy tracks for White Skulls, but that's just me. Regiments Renown. I laid this one out because I remember this one. Bologs, Hengish, the Druid and the Giants of Albion. I mean, they look really are what you expect fantasy giants to be. Especially this guy just here. This is Coctor, Bologs twin brother. This is pretty much what you expect a giant to be. Awkward, gangly, clothes don't fit right. This is absolutely perfect. And one of the things I loved about the Regiments Renown or the Dogs of War stuff, it gave you a different look at units you'd find in the Warhammer world at that time, and it gave you a different insight in different parts of the Warhammer world. This is actually acknowledging Albion existed more than anything else, and you'll be able to see the giants going here, and Hengist the Druid here, which basically left to the Dark Shadows campaign. I think it is, isn't it? The Dark Shadows with the Dream guy in there. So this was the start of looking at different cultures. The only sad thing I felt about Dogs of War, which never really happened, we didn't really see any Nippon type forces. I think that was a wasted opportunity. It would be great to see some fantasy samurai, right? And then we have the Giants of Albion here, which is, you're looking at the usual layout you'd find in the Dogs of War book. Nice piece of artwork. I think that's a Dave Hanley piece. And I love the fact that basically Corktor is excuse me, is picking his nose when we got like a poor old Tillian guy that's about to get his head eaten by Bolog. Fantastic. It was funny, tongue in cheek. This is perfect Warhammer to me. Warhammer should be a little bit tongue in cheek and a little bit fun, and keep a little bit of that grim dark entries here. This is a 2-page layout photographed by myself, Lord Davion's High Oath Expeditionary Army. Yes, I am the fact that he therefore mentioned Lord Davion. Put together a army using the heavy metal high elves at that time, and put the giants in it. There was justification basically being that elves do like a little bit of war strength from the battlefield to bring some of the fantastical creatures. Not quite right, but it is a nice fill into the army, and you could probably think like these high elves landed in Albion, and they employed the giants to basically help them basically explore the land or go up against any of the other forces you'll find in Albion, like Skaven and Orcs and that sort of thing. It's actually a nice little army there. It's about just under 2,000 points, I believe. Yeah, 2,000 points, with the giants being what? Let me think. 2,000 points here. About 300-400 points on the giants. So yeah, yes, that's 500 points. That's 1,500 points of high elves there. Still in a very expensive force because at this time their army book had not been updated. Okay, Company of Angels by Ian Compton. This is one of the first articles he did for White Dwarf and laid out. We're basically taking a look at the Codex Dark Angels. We kind of toned down the release a touch here. As you can see, it's not quite like in your face as it would normally be, and that's a very strange graphic that we did there, but it kind of works. Plus, it's been ate up by the Black Library ad here. It's the Black Library ad. Nice little color copy there. As well as Supreme Commander, the key of large body and very small head. Some nice Raven Wing bikes here. The Deathwing Terminators, which great story in the Deathwing box set are basically how these guys came to pass. They did influence at the time what the Dark Angels were going to be. They had a very much a Native American look to them until we basically moved on over to this monastic look. The idea being that is whenever the Rock recruited to any world from any world it passed, and the Deathwing Terminators, the Deathwing guys at that time were from a world that had basically a very strong Native American culture. Raven Looney, Mark Bedford's beautiful looking Dark Angels army. Look at that, it's really nice, isn't it? I really like the real world army feel of these rhinos here. Yes, I know it's the old rhino kits, and these are going to be phased out not too far out in the future, but it just looks really good, and I love the missile launchers and the missile launchers in the back. It's got like so they just look militaristic, and I like that kind of feel to it. Which basically as militaristic as you can be with basically 8 to 10 foot tall guys based in power armor. Another piece of color text here, basically it's almost revealing something that bad that happened. This is the Adeptus Sororities, I believe. No, it's histories of the Adeptus Astartes chapter section, talking about the fallen that were mentioned in passing in here. More Dark Angel Gump from the actual book itself. Still calls the Robin Reliant Land Speeders because I kind of find that kind of funny. That's a nice little Dark Angels master over there. And we got the Jump Marines from the Dark Angels box set. Jump Marines, and as you can see, because Heavy Metal paints for the box sets, the army is very mismatched and probably not a Dark Angel army you would actually put and field on the force, because let's face it, that would probably get its butt kicked. And then we've got some fun Dark Angel scouts down there. And then we had all the Space Marine box sets. I think I basically pushed for this. Let's show all the Space Marine stuff that you can get in one place, which we should do because we don't do enough of this. And that's it. We've got a lot of Space Marine box sets. I don't know why we've got 2 Land Speeders, and I think, oh yeah, because I wanted the Tornado. That's why. It's a Tornado with a Gatling gun on the front of it. Why we couldn't just include it in the normal box set, I will never know. Or in the infamous Chaplain on a Bike for $10. Anyway. Let's look at the other page, shall we? And the other page is like a rat out of hell, and this is the Warhammer Battle Report by Gareth Hamilton, Mike Walker, and Ian Compton. This is the Warhammer Battle Report, which I believe Maxwell was talking about 2 issues ago, and it's finally here. Yay! Mike Walker, as you may know, is a contributor to White Dwarf. He basically writes articles that are basically from a gamer's perspective or outside the world of Games Workshop. His articles are funny, amusing, and absolutely hilarious to read, and some great tactical nouns from them. And Gareth Hamilton is a guy who basically is not basically he has a beautiful Skaven army, and this was guest here. This is basically using 2 guest armies in a Warhammer Battle Report. How fantastic is that, hey? You know, we're not talking heavy metal armies, we're not talking beautifully painted armies, although Gareth Hamilton's army really is really nice. We're talking 2 armies from real gamers in a battle report. In this case, Mike Walker brings in the Bugman's Ultimate Response Patrol. That's basically, there is a lot of old school dwarfs in there. I'm going to see if we can be close to the camera, see if we can have a better look at the armies. Here we go, starting from the corners. God, remember, I'm looking at everything in reverse. That's an old gyrocopter on there, almost unheard of to show old models, right? An old dwarf, that's the Dwarf Marauder cannon. Dwarf Warriors there, Troll Slayers. What are those guys there? The Longbeards, I think. Yes, I think the Longbeards. More Troll Slayers, another Marauder. I think that is the Bolt Thrower for Marauder, another Bolt Thrower for Marauder, and let's see if we can get these guys. Oh, come on, there we go. There we go. I'm not quite sure what those guys are from. I think they're traditional Citadel dwarfs. Choosing the dwarf army. This is Mike Walker's army. Fantastic. This is a gamer's army, and actually looks like it's going to do some damage too. And this is Gareth Hamilton's beautifully painted Skaven. Now, we featured these in the last walkthrough for White Dwarf 232. I love the fact that it uses the green here to basically punch out the colours, and you get away from that tawny browns and blacks and browns and all those muddy colours that swallow. the upscaling armies, even though it makes scaling armies really easy to paint, these greens really do make the army punch more and show more colour. So this is a good example of using muted greens and colours to basically bring out your Skaven, and Gareth Hamilton's army is a beautiful one to behold. And the battle report takes place, pretty standard fare. There's the setup, there's the first turn movements, if you can call dwarfs actually moving. Then we have some in-game shots using gamers' armies again, so, you know, beautiful stuff. Turns done in the old-fashioned map section. Some interesting changes here. In-game pictures. You know, here comes Thomas Parent to talk about a few things. And this is the thing, that's Mike Walker talking to Rick Priestley over there. This is starting to show there's some people around the studio and showing what was going on. Yeah, another in-game picture, Gareth Hampton showing all the magic cards that he has. And just great battle reports. I'm not going to try to explain what's going on in here because there's little no point. If you have this White Dwarf, pick it out, check it out. It's a fun battle report. Some pictures from the actual in-camera studio just there. I still think we'd better serve just taking pictures of the game as it went as in progress, but we still had a long way to go to get there. And yes, and that's Gareth who won. Yes, Gareth played the entire game in a tie and shirt, which he thinks is very unscathingly. And there's Mike Walker, who would some would say looked like a dwarf, but a fantastic sport and a great gamer. He was absolutely hilarious. Great guy, great guy. And voices of Ian Compton talking about giving it a overview of the gaming. And yet again, another in-game picture. We don't do enough of this. I still don't think we do enough of this, and this should be a thing we should concentrate on. Real gamers, real armies, real playing. And then we go into Citadel Journal of Black Library. I don't want to talk about how much space they take, but they take a lot. Secret War. This is a Dark Angels special mission where they kind of turn up, but really they're there to basically, you know, take some fallen off the field. They give us just a nice perspective of basically, remember the Dark Angels ain't really the good guys that you think they are, and starts giving you those ideas. There's wheels within wheels going on here, and that's Caliban just over there. Cypher, sorry. Caliban's somebody else. Secret War Confrontation. It's a scenario, and it basically how you build it out, and it's actually a fun one. I can't remember if this is actually a battle report. I think we're just showing how it worked. Open Court. Would you like to create your own scenarios but lacking inspiration? Look no further than our military history, for example. Thomas has taken the Battle of Agincourt and applied it to Warhammer. That's right, it's the Warhammer version of the Agincourt, where famously hundreds of English/Welsh bowmen took out the flower of French chivalry. I actually was in a historical video for that. If you ever basically look up for Cromwell Productions or watch History Network very later in TV, you might see me pouncing around in tights and a helmet on my head, pretending to basically fight Frenchmen in a Agincourt history video. Yes, it's a true fact. Look it up, folks. This is a fantastic, just, you know, it's Wood Elf Archers versus basically Bretonian Knights. It's a fun little scenario looking historical fact and demonstrating the fact what you can do with using history and translating it into Warhammer if you have the right white toy soldiers for it. This will work with high elves, with any heavy archer army at all. Over Games Workshop store. This is different to the US ones because there's a lot more stores in the Games Workshop in the UK. Grand openings, gaming events. Bristol's snapshot of a retail guy's army. This is a nice looking little high force. I think that's the old school Carnifex. Yes, it is. There and using some of the new traps, a nice little mix of old and new. Cause it's got the tin warriors there, the metal ones, which I never liked because the plastic ones were much more beautiful in terms of how you expect a really alien creature that could eat you to look like. It's a nice little armor spotlight though. Then Out of Darkness, Battlefield Gothic participation game. Basically, you're going to be taking down Blackstone fortresses, or trying to take down Blackstone fortresses. There we go into Jane's fighting ships of the Gothic sector. I was reminded by, I think again by Ed Maxwell, how to it was Jane's fighting ships. I do apologise if I got a name wrong, by the way. I am addled. I've just written 3,000 words from the Bible for my Night Guardians books, and I'm all over the place tonight. Anyway, Jane's fighting ships, the Gothic sectors, is looking at the Eldar ships. As mentioned, they do look really beautiful, but I prefer the bulbous, saily ones because that felt more ethereal, but that's how I feel about it. The Elder ships were fast, powerful, but if you could tag them, you could take them down. If you could tag them. They do look pretty though, I gotta admit that. Birthday Gothic 2-page ad. This is a great game. I don't think it's in production anymore. You can get hold of it, but if you can, get it up because it really does work as a spaceship combat game. Fighting the Elder, tactics from Jim Butler and how to basically take on the Elder, and some errata talking about oops, we kind of screw things up, but that happens occasionally with any rule sets. You're always going to get corrections as you go. The Mines of King Zach Zormak, built by Luis Oliver. Far from the Barcelona. This is a Spanish one. This is from a Spanish White Dwarf, and we pulled the article over here. This was a departure as well. This is content coming from another White Dwarf coming to us. Look at that. That's a beautiful diorama. And we get some in-shots and looks at it. Looks really, really nice. I love the little dog pen here with the snotling outside there trying to brain the dog. And it's just wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Watch out for the shadows. This is another article by myself, basically, and we're looking at Dark Elder. Notice we've done something a little different here. We have some content here and some color copy talking about the mandrakes. Here's the mandrakes just here. Then we have some tactical advice, basically fighting Dark Elder. And my first thing is what I give you tips on how to beat me. Dark Elder Lord. That's me. And we got other people who have actually faced me several times playing Dark Elder. How to beat my army, and all that comes down to basically is shoot the Archon and the retinue because they're the toughest fighters in the entire bunch. Absolutely true, but don't forget basically to take out the guys with the splinter cannons because they will tear your army apart. I don't think I ever really used mandrakes in the game. They felt superfluous because you can get things fast. They cost a lot of points. You can get things faster with raiders and warriors. But I painted my guys dark blue and silver to keep the constant colour scheme in my army, which basically was like 5 paints. And I think they worked really well. In fact, that's actually my terrain just there in the background, just there. Again, showing really real tall soldiers as well. The Shadow, some of you remember Tony Cottrell from his vertical conversions. This is the Shadow, a huge 2-piece Dark Elder barrel wagon, basically. It's looks spiky and cute and huge, and it's fantastic. Masters of Blades, the Incubi, a Deadly Warriors, and a really fun Dark Elder Lord there. The Incubi were a warrior aspect that had fallen to the darkness, but I'm not quite sure if they really fell in the dark, so basically just got locked into that martial zeal. They're supposed to be rivals to the Striking Scorpions in that way, because they're heavily armoured, extremely dangerous fighters. Incubi are probably one of the toughest close combat troops you're going to face. And the Master of Blades was a fun little character as well, to add to that. And I like this Dark Elder Lord character, but I had the one with the flesh mask on his face, which I thought was even more horrific. Burn the witch! Burn the witch! The witch hunters and their regiments. Why witch hunters in a regiment, I don't know, but you've got some really beautiful toy soldiers to use in this. It's a witch hunter regiment, and it's fun. And it's a nice little character to add to your Dog's War. Again, using the regiment renowned and the Dog's War to add more character to your Warhammer armies. And I got to admit, they're fun. I really do like Wilhelm Hesberg here. These are based off the Vampire Hunters. And it's done very well. And they look really good. Nottingham HQ highlights. Bad Moon Rising. Following the battle report in White Dwarf 229, Bad Moon Rising, Jim Butler and Owen Brannan promised the rematch. So not being the ones to let you down, this is what happens. And we have a battle report of basically the Bretonnians versus the Orcs again. It's actually a two-page special. We did a lot of articles like this trying to figure out if we could actually push up your interest, put more content into here that you might like to see. It does explain the battle and what was going on between the two entities, and it was a fun little article there. I think we got some success with these, but I think we ended in the end. It comes down to basically space, and we were trying to turn the magazine into a hobby supplement, whilst the powers to be were trying to push this basically to be a miniature catalogue. I think what we were doing was probably a better idea, but you know, waxes and wanes. Seriously spiky. Let's take the Chaos Spiky kit and stick it on our vehicles. I did the Dark Elder Raider here. This is actually my Archon's Raider. Stick the spiky bits on it. They do work a little bit off scale, but you get the head rack on and it works, and the chains in the front and that kind of thing, and it gives it a nice, scary look. Looks better on the Predator there. It's just chaos spiky bits. I always like saying that word, chaos spiky bits. That's a fun thing. And yet again, that's just breaking tradition again, showing you metal toy soldiers with a bit stuck on them, so you can see, how these conversions work in their form before they get painted. And that's actually that Predator there before it got painted. That's pretty cool. And I like the fact they turned this Samshuka turned an Imperial Titan into a Chaos Titan using the spiky bits as well. So we had interesting things going on here, and even the Loyalist Space Marines got into it with back tempers, using some of the spiky bits to add bits to their dreadnoughts, and it fits in as long as you don't overdo it. So there we go. It's actually a fun use of the spiky bit sprue. Spiky bits rule. Rules of steel. Just to show you the new Chaos Rhino and Predator and how they affect Chaos Space Marine army selection and points. Chaos Lord Matthew Hudson has put together a 2,000 point army and tells you how it works. And this is his 2,000 point army, and Matthew Hudson tells you how he expects that army to fight on the battlefield. I'm still not convinced that the Predator is an effective armoured vehicle for Space Marines. The Land Raider, yes, because he can transport troops and he's got a big punching power. You lose the ability to troops here with a tank that's mediocre at best with its ornament. But Space Marines are rapid attack forces. Get the guys into your face. I think it kind of works, but I've never able to get a Predator to work well for me. Hunter and Prey, Raider and Vidaria Outpost, the second of our 3 battle reports here. And we have Shea Webster, John Carter, and Andy Chambers. John Carter, it was just there, yes, that's it, does. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. And this is bringing in outsiders to basically play the games. Battlefield Gothic again, she's using that wonderful isometric map. Again, well thought out, well turned. It's just no exciting way of photographing toy soldiers that spaceship, so it just looks weird. But I love the isometric battle map. This gives like that battle bridge feel, like you're monitoring the battle as you go. And there we go. It's showcasing the Elder ships versus Imperial ships, and the Elder ships got the crap beat out of them because they don't have any armor and they don't quite move as fast as you want them to do to be even for Imperial forces to take you down. New contacts, talking about the new spaceships that just got released this month. My fleet had a Emperor class as its flagship. I had a dozen of these Dauntlesses because they were extremely useful ships to have. Very hard to actually kill, actually. Firestorms were held back to basically gather around my Emperor class. The idea was basically I could clear lanes of fire. It was fairly effective as a battle tactic, but again, Chaos Space ships were faster and had more guns, even though they were more lightly armed. And again, he who throws more dice wins in battle games. As simple as that. And we've got the Blackstone Fortresses there and the Chaos Attack Craft. And a little pillow attack craft just there. Warhammer Monthly. We have a 2-page comic book. Actually, this one actually reads better than the Skaven one did, so you can actually follow what's going on here, which is really, really good. Still would have made that anchor image a bit bigger. Probably reduce the size of these a little bit here. This is a little bit muddy. You can't really tell what's going on. You do a lot more action in silhouette as well, which will probably punch the action out more. But that's my comic book announcements coming out. And we're getting some sunbeams in from outside, so it's going flying across my screen here. But we'll get to the end of this. We'll be over soon enough. And that's basically a look at Warhammer Monthly again. I'm still not convinced it was the best comic I did it to do, but it's been around for a month, so it must be doing something right. Secret War, Darkness Falls, the final battle report of the issues. We've had one Warhammer, one Battlefield Gothic, and this has now got a 4K one. Technically speaking, we have a 4th one with basically that 2-page Warhammer battle report. So we're spoiling your battle reports in here and trying to throw content at you to see what stick. And this is using the Secret Agenda missions. And basically, the Dark Eldar are going up against Chaos. It's Graham Davies Chaos against Mark Bedford and Ian Compton. Ian Compton doing the reporting. With Bedford basically Bedford being the Dark Angels. Look at that Dark Angel army, fast attack, moving Raven Wing one. Not quite sure how effective it would be. This bike's not that effective in fighting. But if you can get moving fast, I'm sure it'll help. against Graham Davies. Relatively, Graham Davies was a really good tactically announced commander for the Chaos Forces. And look at that, that's infantry again against bikes. Cavalry versus infantry. Now, on the Napoleonic battlefields, that's kind of a recipe for disaster for the infantry unless they get into squares. But in this case, it might be more of a bad case for the Dark Elder. But they're after old Cypher there, so that's going to be their primary target. If they capture him, they win the game. Nice little setup there, showing what's going on, very fast moving stuff. The Chaos Bikers were basically absolutely destroyed by the Land Speeders, which had to happen because you can't have too many bikers and that'd be crazy. The bike attacks and that sort of thing. It's a good battle report. Still not convinced that Raven Wing were actually any good. Again, bikes against infantry. I get the concept of it, but it didn't quite work at all. And you can see the light flashing across my screen here. Wow, we've got Sunbeam coming right in. Oh well, we're near to the end now. Nearly to the end. Again, in battle shots here. See him? He's dead. He is. So it was all fun stuff. Look at that. We used some sticky stuff in the back of the land speeder there. And coming down, the Dark Elder, the Dark Angels are really just getting torn to pieces here. But they did a fair enough job to do the job. Results are Chaos wins, Dark Angels don't. I'm surprised actually they didn't lose by that many points because the bikes are the bikes and you were significantly outnumbered. But I think Mark Bedford did a good use of speed. Let's move this across so you can see it going in here because we're looking at mail order here now. If Adrian Wood left, guess who took over the mail order section? Yep, that's me. This is all me now. Wow. So we did a big punch of the ships to show them off the best we can. $12 box sets, $5 box sets. Those prices are insane nowadays, right, guys? Looking at bringing out the Dark Elder, put as much as we can on here. I wanted to load the pages up with toy soldiers so you can basically see, wow, there's so much stuff. Because I remember catalogs of my youth, and I would just sit there and stare at everything. So that's what I decided to do, make you stare at everything on the page. And we made the guys that are important bigger. And the guys not so important, smaller. Dark Angels Codex here with some of the Codex Special Miniatures said that is a repeat of the old Deathwing Terminators. They were the first Terminator box set before the Space Wolf Terminator box set. So a lot of armies across the board, a lot of special armies across the board, had Dark Angel Deathwing Terminators, but they just shaved off the feathers. And here we go. So we've got nice little Space Marine Commander in Terminator armor. It's painted up in Dark Angel colours, but you can use it for any commander you want to. Raven Wing Assault Force with Raven Wing bits and pieces you can stick on it to give them a special look to them. A look at the Space Marines again. Very important to show. Box sets. Just add bits to them. You make your chapters. Chaos Space Marines, Codexy stuffy here. Beautiful Chaos Space Marine Lord there. Cypher, the Fallen Angel. Rhinos and the Predators. Basically they were the same kits, but with the spiky sprue added. It is what it is. And then basically we have Advanced Soldiers and coming through stuff. What's coming up next? We have Vampire Councils coming next. We have the Dark Angel, the Dark Elder Ravager, which is basically the heavy support Raider. I use this to a huge effect in my games. When I got hold of one of these three Dark Lancers, just tore through armor, tore it through. Finishing off, we're basically looking at the Regiment's Renown that's coming out. We've still got the Olos Wolf Boys here. I told you I still have no memory of this unit, but I obviously laid them out in the actual mail order pages. Just no memory of them. Shown in the army books because it's important to show the army book for everything you're selling. The Bologs guys, the guys. Actually, I just poured everything I could onto these pages because I wanted people to look everywhere and look at things, and I think we did a very good job of that. And there is the Dwarf Gobblobber Stonethrower for $20. This is bringing up a old toy soldier that mail order had. There was some back and forth over this. I didn't want to put it in because I didn't think the painter was very good. Then basically I got told by poor sorry not to be so stupid, and we put it in the magazine in the end. After all, I upset some people down in mail order over that. I didn't mean to. I was probably a little bit too full of myself at that time. But we got the classic Gobblobber in there, and I think it was worth it. It was the correct decision to make. It was. And looking at other bits and pieces going on, the order pages, subscribe, the mail order list, and finally finishing with the beautifully done Dark Raven going covers dogs to launch their next attack, going down the side of one of our big set pieces of terrain, which you don't see much of, including one of our weird backdrops. I can't remember if it was me or the studio photographer who did this job here. I got a funny feeling it was the studio photographer. Pain in the ass. These are probably all stuck on here. You probably don't see the blue tack and tape that's probably sticking these guys in the back wheels to this ramp, because the ramp was like, well, let's put in my camera. It was. I can't even get this right. It was really steep. It was like that steep. So there we go. That is White Dwarf 233 under the beautiful sunlight of a closing evening here in Pennsylvania in the US of A. That's it, guys. White Dwarf 234 will be coming up. That will be another UK issue. Let me know if you want to see some more of these here. I'm seeing the views and the likes drop off of these, which is not encouraging me to really do many more. I think I'm going to try to get at least a set of 12, so I feel like I've got a full year under my belt out of the way before I stop doing these completely on my own mission. Let me know what else you would like to see. If you'd like to see me do walkthroughs of any other retro things at that time. I'm blocking out the sole of my arm. There we go. Both arms. Let me know if you see any retro things you want me to walk through. I can give commentary to. I do appreciate you guys looking at this. Please like and subscribe when you see this these videos. Tell your friends about them, and please comment below. I do answer all comments within reason, as long as you're not mean to me, because I don't like being people mean to me. Anyway, please contribute to my Patreon as well. That helps me do more comic books. So I thank you for watching. I thank you for getting this far, and you have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye bye bye.